This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission, highlighting the good in our community, and by golly, we're here to do it. I'm Pastor John McClain. We are minus an Andreas Ruiz today, but no worries. He'll be back with us next week. Like usual, Andreas is out there speaking with the kids about mental health awareness and what they can do to do what they call self-care nowadays. It's the popular idea. How you make sure you consider yourself, you take care of yourself, whether it's meditation, whether it's breathing, praying, going out, eating well, working out. There's a lot of different things that, sometimes we're not as mindful as we need to be and considerate of, particularly in this day and age. But Andreas Ruiz is out there helping the kids like he does. But we have another amazing show for you. As I mentioned, today we have Curtis in studio with us today. He is with Action Print and Copy. He is closely becoming one of my best buds. We definitely have to play golf soon for sure, because ever since me and him met, we've just been working on one amazing project after another. There's definitely more and more I hear about the amazing work that they do. It's super awesome. I've had the good fortune of working with him on one of our newest project in the Common Good News that is at over 50 locations around the city of Tucson that you could find. It is a two-page editorial, pretty much a spin-off of the show, highlighting the good in our community. And it also has an event calendar talking about all different type of events that are going around town, such as different concerts at the Rialto, different games that the Tucson Roadrunners are having this month. So there's a collection of good information you can find there, and also the different discounts that MPG Automotive is having. Definitely don't want to leave them out. And I think that's the gut of it. But thank you for being here, Curtis, and I look forward to hearing more about Action Print and Copy.
Well, thanks for having me, John.
Yeah,
it's good to be here.
Yeah. So for those who didn't hear the last time we had you on the show, what is Action Print and Copy? What do you guys do? And I guess give them the breakdown for someone who's never heard of it before.
Well, we're a local print shop. We have two locations, one here in Tucson and one in Green Valley. We do all manner of commercial printing, and we also are in that we have a self-service area where people can come in and do their own if they so choose. Mm-hmm. And we, like I said, we do everything from business cards to banners to signs and promotional products. That's a new area for us that we've looked to expand the business into.
Interesting. So you say promotional products. What are you talking about exactly?
So, kind of the blanket term of promo products, it covers everything from, branded pens with your company name on it, hats, everything imaginable, cups. I mean, it just runs the gamut. Mm-hmm. It's a great way for people to get their brand and their name out there. And you're probably wearing something right now that could technically be called a promo product, your T-shirt.
Yeah. So even T-shirts or something you guys do, just pretty much the whole range.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes hand in hand with printing. For years we've had people asking us for those types of things, and we sort of dipped our toe in a little bit before, but now we're really fully dedicated to going full bore on it. It just works hand in hand with graphic design and the printing world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, and I know just in, whether it was the editorial when I first came to you and asked hey, is this something you can do? Or whether it was the book or my children's book that I just came out with, Dear Lion, and I was like, is this something you can do? You guys are kind of like MacGyver. You guys, you'll figure it out. Even if it's, not something that's at the top of the list of services you provide, you guys will figure it out. And it seems like that's kind of now that's epitomized in your promotional line of doing things, huh?
Yeah, and on your book, I mean, that really is definitely in our wheelhouse for short run, quick turnaround books. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have great content, but it's super expensive if you want to go out and publish a book and have it printed like you might see at Barnes and Noble or one of those places. But if you just if you need to get get the content out there, we can produce a pretty nice book and in short runs, and then we just like to grow with our customers. I mean, we have a lot of customers who have started out pretty small, and we have small projects, and then you look back after a year or two and you realize, wow, look how much they've grown, which helps us grow. And promotional products are kind of that way as well. I mean, they help people grow, they help people get their name out there, whether it's just a simple ballpoint pen or something more complex.
What would you say to like a business that's like, let's just say a small business that hasn't really like considered putting together a line of swag or a line of promotional products? What's like the low hanging fruit for a business to get into that, to promotional products?
Well, I think everybody has a pen. Pens are kind of boring, nowadays. Everybody's got a pen, right? Although it is a good item to at least have, but I think you really got to look at your business, and you've got to look at something that ties in with your business, and then you want something that people are going to want to keep. Something unique, it doesn't have to be super expensive, but it just needs to be something unique that somebody would want to keep, because the world is full of these products, and a lot of them, just end up in a drawer or somewhere. Yeah. And so it really kind of depends on your business, and I always, being a business owner, I try to look at my client as if it were my business. Maybe what would I do, and maybe between the two of us we can collaborate and come up with something unique, again, that people will really want to keep.
Well, I was reading, I can't remember what I was reading. I was reading something once, Curtis, and when I was reading it, it was saying promotional items or just items in general are really good to give a customer some time, because it encourages them to want to continue to do business with you in the future. So when I, as you're saying, and when I think of promotional items, I think of, what's, a cool little trinket or cool little something you could give somebody, so it just encourages them to come back.
Yeah, and again, if it's something that's either unique to your business or even your personality, it's kind of nice. I mean, if you're a golfer, well, golf balls with your logo on it. A lot of people do that, but the nice thing about that is when people lose them in the rough, somebody else finds them.
Yeah, that's good thinking. I was just thinking like you'd have to give me a whole bunch of them, because I'm gonna lose at least 4 balls per game. But yeah, for sure. Well, awesome. Well, we're gonna talk to Curtis more. That's Curtis with Action Print and Copy after this break. This is the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. We're highlighting the good in our community, much like Action Print and Copy is doing. If you have not been to veteranrescuemission.org, please go there. You can find out more about the radio show, as well as the plethora of services that we provide to homeless veterans, primarily in regard to sheltering and connecting them with services, housing services. Most importantly, we've been able to shelter and house over 300. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. If you didn't know, we're highlighting the good in our community. We have Curtis here in studio with us. We're highlighting the good that he's doing with Action Print and Copy. They are a print and copy shop there on Prince and First on the northeast side. They do just a range of services. I mean, and pretty much almost anything you could think of. I went there not too long ago trying to stump them, telling them, hey, I got this children's book I want to produce. There's no way you guys can do this, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, we can do that for sure. And not only did they do that, they gave me all different options, different types, color, black and white, different price points, different sizes, ranges. I mean, it was just super impressive. Like it really is. Like I don't dote on you enough, but just what you guys got going on is it's tight and right. And I know from your standpoint, sometimes, I mean, you see how the bread's made and what it looks like in the kitchen, so you really the ins and outs, and sometimes it's hard to kind of appreciate the level of structure and organization and everything you're able to achieve. But it's pretty impressive, man. I love it. It's awesome.
I've said it before, I didn't really have that much to do with producing that book. I kind of got the ball rolling, but it's my team that really picks it up and gets it done. And I always I don't dote on them enough either. But yeah, that's what it takes. It takes a good team, and some things when you first look at that book or something, it's challenging, but we work through it, and then hopefully the future ones are a lot easier. And but yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, for sure. And to that point, like when I gave you original images on the book, like as much as I put it together, I had no idea what I was doing. So you asked me, you're like, okay, do you have, or I think maybe it was Zach that asked me, one of your employees, do you have that like faded and cropped or marked or something like that? I don't even know the language you use.
Bleeds and
yeah. Do you have the bleeds and crop? Or
a lot of people don't realize what from the screen to the actual printed material, there's some things that have to happen if you want it to look right and lay out right. And so sometimes that's a challenge. But, like I said, we have graphic designers. We can work on all that. It's just sometimes people want it to be turned around immediately. And so, we do what we can. And 'cause we always want it to look the best possible that we can within the time frame and the artwork that we have to work with.
I could imagine it's like a juggling job, particularly like around expectations, because one, you have like what they told you, I want this is what's in my brain, make this happen. And then you have, okay, well, these are our parameters of what can happen, and then out comes a product.
It's just like anything. I mean, there's a reality to everything. So, anything's possible, but if it just takes time and work. And a lot of people in our business, they come to us because that's one of the things about us is we're a quick turnaround place. We get things
for sure.
We get things done quick.
I've never seen a place turn stuff around as quickly as you do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Whether it's thousands of stuff that I need or 100 books, like you guys get them done quick.
Yeah. We have a lot of different types of customers, and sometimes they literally don't have the time. They need it right now. Someone passes away in their family. They've got a funeral tomorrow, and it's like, we've got to do this. And we're always trying to help them make their deadlines and, do what they need to do. So
what's like, do you have a story or kind of like a customer that kind of really sticks out to you, that really like epitomizes some of the, the work that you guys do or have done?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of, individual customers that come in, but we also work with a lot of, larger organizations, events, festivals. One that comes to mind right now, because they're finally coming back from the pandemic, is the Rito racetrack. So, if you don't know, they're going to be racing the end of next week.
Nice. No free advertising. I'm just kidding.
So they're those types of groups and events are a real challenge, and so it's not like, we just print whatever they say. We have to get involved a lot of times to pull it off, and so you almost become one of their team in a way, because there's a lot of different things that people need for these types of things.
I can imagine.
Signs, and it's always last minute, and it's always, but our team does it, and they understand that that's what makes us different. They come to us, we can do this. We can print a bunch of things with 1 day notice, and where other commercial printers, sometimes they need longer because of the devices they use and just their structure.
Interesting.
So I really get involved in those, and they can they're kind of pressure, but it's also kind of fun because you're helping to pull something off, and at the end of it, you kind of say, wow, we were an integral part of that, and so I look at those as a challenge, but as a satisfaction. at the end of the day when we do that.
I could imagine. I mean, just as you're describing it, I can just imagine how many pieces are necessary for an event like that. Like what?
Oh, sure.
Hundreds of thousands, millions of different
tickets,
pieces.
There's tickets. There's parking permit. There's all kinds of different things that need to be printed. And when you look at your, even just go through your daily life, you look at your all the different things that are printed that you use and are necessary throughout the day. Paper and printing is not dead.
Thinking of that, is that what kind of like encouraged you to get? What made you think to get in the printing business in the first place?
It was really just opportunity and timing. I kind of grew up through the hardware side of things, copier service and sales, and so it was really just opportunity and timing. I mean, that's the definition of luck, right? Opportunity meets preparation, and that's the way it was. It wasn't a dream from a little child.
Yeah, I was a little 7-year-old there thinking, oh, this needs printed, this is printed, this needs printed. Yeah,
but it's a good business, and you're working with people, and you have employees and relationships, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, it seems pretty cool. I mean, I won't do it in this city, but maybe I'll get in the printing business one day. It seems like
stay out of my
get
backyard.
out of here, buddy. Shaking his fist. Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, it's definitely a side I never considered. But I guess we got about 30 seconds. We got to jump out of here. How do people locate Action Print and Copy, and how do they get a hold of you guys?
Well, we're again 2 locations. Tucson, we're at First Avenue and Prince.
Okay.
In Green Valley, we're at Esperanza and I-19.
Okay.
You can find us on the web, www.printapc.com.
Okay. Printapc.com.
Yeah, it's like our initials, and generally give us a call. 520-829-3075. You can be connected to either location through that number.
Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I am still Pastor John McClain. Still don't have Andreas Ruiz here in studio with me, but I do have another guest here in studio with me. Out goes Curtis with Action Print and Copy. In comes Nadia.
Yes.
Nadia with La Frontera. If you do not know of La Frontera, it is pretty much one of, if not the biggest social service organization in the state of Arizona. They serve a wide range of individuals, from homeless individuals to children to elders to men, women, children. I'm guessing they probably help puppies in some capacity. And today we have in studio Nadia with the RAP Center. I can't remember what that acronym means, but what the RAP Center does is it's pretty much like it is the first point of contact for the unhoused community to get navigated, to be channeled to the different services are available to them. So I'm super excited to have her on to kind of tell more about the amazing work that they do, and also just kind of share information so you, the listening audience, can go out there, and when you see somebody that needs assistance, you know where to route them to. So thank you again for being here with us in studio.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess, outside of my explanation, explain to someone who's never heard of La Frontera before, what is La Frontera?
La Frontera is a behavioral health agency. It encompasses, like you said, a lot of different news that everybody can go to La Frontera. Elderly, like you said, elderly, children, women, families. There's therapy, there's groups, there's different things that La Frontera offers.
So same question, but let's take out the word La Frontera and insert RAP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
What is RAP?
RAP stands for Readily Accessible People's Program.
Okay, cool. And what do you guys do?
We are a team of women, and
a team of women. That sounds like superheroes, but go on, yeah.
Right now,
a team of action fighting women.
Right, basically that is what it is.
Yeah, I know. I've met you all.
Yeah. We do a lot of outreach.
Uh-huh.
We do a lot of case management. We do a lot of helping people with different resources.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, we like to do outreach
Okay.
to the SMI, which is seriously mentally ill and chronically homeless, is our demographic.
Mm-hmm. And so, for when you say outreach, like for the unknowing, I know what that is, but for those who don't know what outreach means, what does that entail?
Outreach is for the people that do not access services on their own.
Mm-hmm.
They're living in the tunnels, they're living in the washes, and for whatever reason, they do not use resources. So we go out and
Mm-hmm.
we offer them resources, we build rapport with them the best that we can. We go
Mm-hmm.
back very often, we bring them hygiene, water, different resources that they might need at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So we just basically, the biggest thing is building rapport with them.
Mm-hmm. And like I don't know, especially like I want to think like the average person, like if they were to meet you, you're not the scariest looking big monstrous person. Like what is it like going out into the tunnels and out into the washes and locating homeless people, houseless people, and interacting with them? What is that like for you? And how have you overcome any challenges? Assuming that there are any challenges.
I've been doing this for 3 years in March, and I think the most helpful thing that I found to be true is just to be yourself
Mm.
and to have compassion and integrity and be honest with them
Mm.
always.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And but so like I know a lot of people, they have like this notion that like they should be scared, or they're scared of homeless people rather. What do you say to people like that ask like aren't you scared?
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, they do ask me that. I
Mm-hmm.
don't feel afraid. I feel that we're there to help, and they know that we're not there to hurt them. We're not there to rip them out of their tunnel. We're not there. We're there to meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing that we do.
Mm-hmm. And that'd be probably the same advice to give to those people that say, "Are you scared?" Like, you shouldn't be scared. Like, if you want to help, an unhoused person, when you go to give them food or you go to give them something, they're not going to attack you.
No, they're not going to attack you.
Yeah.
They're going to be very grateful
Mhm.
for your assistance.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like, and we got probably got about a minute and a half before we go into break. For like just someone who's like not used to interacting with the homeless person, or not used to doing to giving help, what would you say to them what they can do when they see like a homeless person in front of Circle K or the grocery store or just out and about, to channel them to help? Or what's the low hanging fruit to helping a homeless person out in society for John Q. Public?
Okay. Well, I think that when you see a homeless person, you can gauge if they're alcoholics, if they have a
Mm.
substance abuse problem. I mean, you can always give them money. You can give them food. You can give them socks. You can give them underwear. You can give
Mm.
them water. And if you give them money and they do have substance abuse problems, you obviously know what they're going to use the money for.
Mm.
So, I mean, that is your choice as far as that goes.
Mm.
Yeah.
For sure. And just like a thought I was thinking, particularly today I had the good fortune to read this book that I wrote. It's called where it explains homelessness to kids, called
Wow.
Dear Lion, Homelessness Explained to Kids. And I was just telling those kids, like, okay, here's some of the things that you can tell your parents, to do to try to, make them more compassionate and kind of make them, have them help your family members that are homeless, or the friends that your family has that are homeless. And I was telling them to give out little keep socks in their car and water bottles and stuff like that. And we're not gonna get into it because we have to go into break, but ruminate on it, on like kind of maybe stuff like that you think that maybe people can do, or information. Even that was a big
Sure.
thing I was telling them, is like, hey, tell your parents about what we do, and other organizations like this, so they can let the unhoused people know that we do this thing. So
Absolutely.
so we're gonna go ahead and go to break. If Nadia, Nadia, Pastor John McClain here with Nadia.
Nadia.
I'm actually in a Spanish class right now, so I want to make sure I really, make it pop. Make it pop. I
Yes,
got to make
it's
sure
the-
it's smooth.
the-
Yeah. Or my Spanish teacher will drop my grade. That's what she said.
Right.
So yeah, she's a behavioral health specialist with La Frontera, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I am also a behavioral health specialist with La Frontera. So this is actually one of my coworkers, even though she didn't remember me, so we're not friends anymore. but yeah, when we went into break, we were talking about just the ways that John Q. Public can help the unhoused community, whether it is helping them with socks, waters, need items that they can get to them just to build rapport, build some type of relationship with them, or giving them information. I know a big part of the outreach work I've done in my life is just informing a houseless person who just got out of the hospital last week, or just lost their house last week, or just lost their job last week, or just whatever that made them homeless last week, and they didn't even know about what shelters are available, or where they can find blankets, or where they can find a meal, or where they go to get back to that next step.
Exactly.
So having people like Nadia here in studio with us to talk about these things is just a highlight of my day. And I guess, as we're going in during break, you were talking about kind of those different channels and how people find themselves in those places. So please explain a little bit on what, people don't really understand.
Right. I feel that there's a lot of people that are like one step away from being homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Just like living paycheck to paycheck, and something will happen, like a traumatic experience, like a fire or somebody dying,
Mm-hmm.
somebody getting sick, losing a job, stuff like that is like very simple, and people can end up being homeless
Mhm.
and not knowing their resources, like you said. And we are there to navigate the different resources that is available to them,
Mm-hmm.
and to, like you said, help them find meals, help them find shelter, help them find funds,
Mm-hmm.
just different things like that.
Another question I have that, like, certainly people have been asking me, and I guess depending on the person, I respond differently, but it's certainly, I think it's something that's on all of our minds as we get deeper and deeper into the pandemic, and we're seeing things we've never seen before, outside of the fact that the housing market is through the roof. The amount of housings that are available are very limited.
Absolutely.
And all around town, we're seeing these little homeless camps on the side of the
Absolutely.
road and popping up in our neighborhoods. And I'm having people ask me, well, when one pops up in my neighborhood, when I see, a homeless guy living down the street from me, what should I do?
Well, I think contacting RAP would be one of the first steps that you can do, because we would go out and outreach. I mean, if you feel comfortable enough to, talk to them and just be on a friendly level with them, because people are afraid of the homeless. They're unpredictable. They can be unpredictable.
Yeah.
They could be mentally ill, stuff like that. And I think,
Or they could just not want to be bothered.
exactly, they
Yeah.
might just not. I mean, who's going to be in a good mood when you're homeless? You know?
Yeah, or I'm just I like to mention to people, like, just imagine if you're just sitting at your place, you had your feet kicked up on your couch and you're relaxing for the evening, and I come knocking at your door at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. How are you going to respond?
Right, exactly.
So,
That's
yeah.
so true. Yeah, so we do have a little trepidation when we do walk up on a camp. We do let them know that where we're coming from and who we are, before. And then sometimes people do not want to talk to us, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely more common than not. And so what, I guess, and I didn't prep you for this as well enough, but what's like some kind of like miracle stories or some kind of like success stories that you've been able to see or kind of been part of over the years at working at La Frontera, working with RAP?
Well, I can give the example for today. Actually, we have a a young man. He got housed in Tucson House. He's been waiting 3 months. He's been homeless. He has a dog, so he doesn't access shelters because
Mm.
there's not a lot of shelters that accept animals to go with the person. So he was able to get into Tucson House. Like 4 people got matched to housing, which is starts with the VI SPDAT, and there's different agencies around Arizona that are a collaboration of Tucson Pima collaboration to end homelessness,
Mm.
and they are the ones that can match you to housing. So there's been like 3 to 4 people that has been matched to housing, and we help them navigate the, getting their documents, just the different interviews that they have to do, the different
Mm.
paperwork that they have to do. So when somebody does actually get inside, there's a lot that goes into that.
Mm.
From their side, they have to be, what's the word? They have to be invested, that's
Mm.
for sure, because it
Mhm.
is a lot of work to get housed, actually.
Yeah, yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. I mean, even thinking back on my own experience out of coming out of homelessness and getting into housing, just initially going to the different appointments was challenging. Because back in my day,
Absolutely.
like 15 years ago, close to when I was on the streets, there wasn't a free bus.
Right, right,
So I had to figure out, okay, how do I get that $3
right.
to get to and from where I need to go every single appointment? And sometimes you can know 5, 6, nearly 10 appointments till
Absolutely.
you finally actually get a pair of keys put into your
It's
hands.
so true,
Yeah.
yes. And it's difficult for them to make these appointments.
Mhm.
And that's where Readily Accessible People's Program, that's
Mm.
what we are.
Mhm.
So we help people a lot hands-on.
Mhm. Nice. Nice. And so I guess like explain more how the RAP program works. I know you guys aren't just open 24 hours, 7 days a week. And there's there's a structure to it. Explain more. It's like for whether it's an unhoused person that maybe listen to this show, because I know we have a lot of people, elder people that are housed and unhoused that listen to
Mhm.
this. What is how do they get a hold of you guys, and what is that like? What does that window look like?
The wrap is a drop-in, so
Okay.
you can drop in there. We have computers, and we do case management. We're there, we listen to the stories, and we help them navigate the different resources, like I said, that they could be useful to them.
Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday,
Mhm.
8 to 4, we're
Okay.
open. The drop-in is open.
Yeah, that's the brunt of it. Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. You guys you provide like little like need items for people, right?
We
Like if they
do.
need blankets, toothbrushes, toothpaste.
Hygiene, we have
Mhm.
blankets. In the summer, we have sack lunches. Sometimes we have tents. Sometimes we have jackets, clothes, shoes. Everything is very much needed and wanted and helpful.
Mm-hmm. And then I believe you guys are kind of like the port way for the day program at Sonora House. Or
Yes,
do they
it
still
is.
have the day program?
Yes, they do have the Sonoras. It's our sister program, and what they have to do if they want to go to Sonora House is actually go to RAP
Mm-hmm.
and be screened and be enrolled in our services. And Sonora House is a residential home and also a day program where
Mm.
they can go wash their clothes, take a shower. They have catered food,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a lot of couches where they can rest.
Mm.
And they stay there from, I believe it's from 10 to 3.
Mm.
They can be there.
Mhm.
And then they have a group in the evening that they can stay for a group and have dinner. If they stay at for a group,
Mm-hmm.
they can eat dinner there. I don't really know how many beds are at Sonora House.
I think it's 15.
15 beds, yeah.
And 10 men, 5 women, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're full right now, but
Mm-hmm. Oh, usually.
mm,
Usually.
they
I think that's the
definitely
case
are.
with most the places. I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
from what I remember, that's one of the biggest challenges
It is
in your job. Mhm.
absolutely
Mhm.
just having those beds available is
Mhm.
absolutely a challenge.
So I guess kind of like we got a minute and a half. So with this parting thought, like, what do you think Tucson can expect around this issue in the foreseeable future? Do you see these tents and camps popping up all over minimizing, or do you see this kind of it getting worse before it gets better.
I believe it's getting worse before it gets better, especially like the pandemic started and there's so many more homeless people, and these are just regular people that are becoming homeless. These are not people that have a substance abuse problem. These are not people that have mental illness. These are people that have been touched by the pandemic, and these are the ones that are camping out in the tents, and they have families, elderly, veterans. There's all types of people that are homeless.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny you say that, because today when I was speaking to a group of kids, I want to think they're range from 5 to 10, and I was maybe 50 kids, and of them I asked them, raise your hand if you have a family member or close family friend that's been homeless. And at least half of them raised their hands.
Absolutely.
So I mean, even these little kids kind of, they get it, and they get, and like, even I know, my group of friends in the world, like I know a lady who worked at the University of Arizona, and because of the pandemic, she lost her job, and she's like been couch hopping for the past 2 years because of it. So it's like, yeah, a lot of people have this idea in their head of what a homeless person looks like, but usually it's very, very different. Usually it's your next door neighbor, or it's like your brother or your cousin, and it's not somebody living on in some foreign place.
Right. Exactly.
Well, thank you, Nadia, for coming on the show with me. It was
you're welcome.
It was a pleasure, and that's Nadia with La Frontera. If you have not checked them out, please go to lafronteraz.org.